What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about Scream 7 in this video here today and discussing the return of Matthew Lillard, who we know is supposed to be back as Stu Macher. We know that he got announced a few weeks ago, or a couple days ago, I should say. His return immediately sparked that Stu is alive theory train like never before. Some believe this, and that's fine. In this video, what we're going to be doing is just going over the expectations you should have for this return, and I'll work my way up to why you should have that expectation. So, starting off here in 2022, when Collider had asked Kevin Williamson about this potential return of Stu Macher being alive, or him potentially being alive, Williamson, who we know is going to be directing the upcoming 7 film, said this. He said, "No, he's dead. I think that started because of the college scene, the frat party scene, because he's standing in the background. He just came to visit set that night." He gave a more in-depth answer on an episode of the Happy Horror Time podcast, still confirming that Stu was dead. Shout out to you guys. So for years, we've just had this run around because Matthew Lillard, who I love and appreciate as a performer, I'll always give him his flowers, said that there were plans for Stu for Scream 3. He's supposed to be leading a cult from jail, etc. Then a writer, or an executive writer, I think his name was, by the last name Potter, I think that's what the gentleman's last name is. He's been making his rounds on Facebook. He was on a channel at one point a few years back where he stated that that was never in the discussion. There might have been an idea for that, but that was never discussed. So then it's like, well, who is telling the truth? And at what point are we just now going to accept that Stu Macher is dead? There's just been way too much disconnect to believe that Stu was supposed to be alive, and too much time has passed for a logical narrative to work this late in the game. And the creator is still saying that Stu is dead. Most would say, well, he's not going to admit that. Yeah, but then Stu failed to be alive in both Scream 5 and Scream 6. Scream 6 also confirms he's dead with the board scene between Kirby and Bailey. That question mark was for Stu's mask being left at the scene of the crime, not for if he's alive. His death is marked right underneath the picture. Yes, Mindy does say to Kirby at one point during Scream 6, if you believe he's dead, in response to her comment about that being the television that killed Stu Macher, but they're just expanding on the Easter egg in Scream 5, where it's made abundantly clear that the theory of Stu being alive or dead exists within this universe. I say all of this to move into the fact that you should be prepared for Stu being dead to be confirmed for the upteenth time during Scream 7. If you've been paying attention to the theories online, you're on the right track with Stu's usage in this upcoming film and the commentary they're going for as it pertains to his usage. In a nutshell, he's going to be used the same way Richie was in Scream 6 against the Carpenters. And did Richie show up alive in the end? You guys know the answer to that. Not only Richie, since this is Sidney's movie, he's being used in a similar fashion as to what you saw featured throughout Scream 3 when it comes to how Marine Prescott was used to taunt Sidney. So with those comments about Richie and Marine, both of which, who again, did they show up alive in the end of those films? Okay, that is what you should expect when it comes to the usage of Stu Macher in Scream 7. So all they are doing is leaning into the theory that was present on Richie Kirsch's Scream during Scream 5 in ways that we've never seen before. Again, they're just using Richie Kirsch's angle in Scream 6, but in a more exaggerated capacity for Stu Macher, Matthew Lillard's return as that character that people have been clamoring for, now placing it on the shoulder of Sidney Prescott, who is going to be thinking, is he alive? Is he not alive? What's going on? Is he really dead? That's the direction they're going. I think all signs are pointing to that, but for some reason, we're not wanting to engage with that reality. We're still wanting to say, oh, he's going to be revealed as alive. Really? The evidence of them doing the opposite is just lining up perfectly. So him being alive, if that happens, yes, that would shock me. I'm not going to lie. But so far, the evidence and the direction in which the narrative has been going since Scream 5 just points to them leaning heavily on the theory that appeared on Richie Kirsch's screen. That is what you should expect. If you go into Scream 7 and this man doesn't get confirmed to be alive, you have no one to blame but yourself for setting that expectation. They're not doing it. They are simply not doing it. The same thing happened with Scream 6. I tried to tell people that it was not Stu Macher. No one listened. Stu Macher did not end up being revealed as the killer in Scream 6. It was the Baileys. But prior to that, for weeks, or at least a few days, it was this narrative that, oh, it's Stu. This is Stu's family. And people just They didn't buy that it wasn't Stu and his family. And then sure enough, that didn't happen. So whatever. People will learn. They're just going to use Scream 7 as the upteenth time to confirm that this man is dead while commentating on the current climate we're in when it comes to the current technology that is terrorizing us all. But I hope that this just pushes the narrative forward in a way that doesn't make it too obvious who the killer is, because I know some of you are already like, oh, well, it's probably going to be Leslie Macher. It's probably going to be this person, that person, because why else would they bring up Matthew Lillard's character of Stu in this capacity if it's not going to be related to Stu? Out of the 3 killers that are supposed to be coming back, the ones that actually have been announced by the reputable trades so far are Scott and Matthew. Out of the 3, though, because Skeet's supposed to be back too, Matthew seems like the one who's going to be the most important. That's why I put out my tweet that I put out today. All signs point to Stu Macher playing a very pivotal role in Sidney Prescott's new story that's unfolding in Scream 7. But if you're going into it expecting him to be revealed alive, I'm sorry to say you're going to be sadly disappointed. But you let me know what you think about this down in the comment section below. Are you looking forward to Matthew Lillard being back as Stu Macher? Why or why not? Do you think that he actually will end up being alive? And if so, please, for the love of God, somebody tell me how you see that working. What narrative route would you take outside of just him paying people off or his family paying people off? What is the other logical step you would take? The paying people off narrative, I'm just seeing that too much. I would like to see something a little bit more original, because I've stated before, if you can bring Stu back and it's logical and it actually doesn't make me go, wow, that's stupid. If it makes sense and I actually can applaud you for it, I'm all for it. But there is no way right now that you sell that without hurting characters like Gale, hurting other characters like Sidney, and not making them seem like some of the dumbest people on the face of the planet in this franchise, while also insulting your audience, because it's clear as day that you did not intend for this man to be alive. You're just now folding to online hype, and you're trying to tell a story that people were wanting to see in a very desperate way, and it's going to fall flat on its face because of all the logic gaps that are here with the narrative. So somebody please try to sell me on it in the comment sections if you want to. I'm going to read the comments. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notification, your name is video. In the description, I have links to my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.